Hey Buckin, if you're watching, I'm just about to get the gullet. The Buckin tip tap, that's what I need. Got to admit that I used to hate sharpening chainsaws, and I used to use one of those guide bars, and since I went freestyle, oop, don't do that, I just find that I'm much more in tune with what the file is doing. I've got much more control. I can see much more clearly what I'm doing. And most importantly, oh, that's hot. Most importantly, my chains are cutting really nice. And they're cutting nice and straight. That is not something I used to be able to say. In fact, I found that a new chain for me was the best cutting chain. But I've got to say now that I find the chain cuts better after it's had a couple of files. So that's got to be saying something. So I actually look forward now to sharpening my chains. Well, I don't really look forward to it, but it's not as much a chore as it used to be. It's kind of strange if I was looking forward to sharpening my sword, huh? But what I do look forward to is that first cut after it's been sharpened. That I love. Tip tap. So I'm trying to show you here, this is about as close up as I can get to this tooth. Wow, look how big my thumbnail is. So what I look for when, see that little edge there, right on that edge, it looks kind of shiny. Well, what I normally do is look down from the top of the blade, and if I can see a little glimmer of shine on that edge there, that's normally the light reflecting from a blunt edge, a curved edge. So I think one of the trickiest things to know is, well, if you sharpened your saw, is it sharp or not? Well, if you've got rid of that and the shape of the gullet and the shape of this is right, then you know that that's going to be a nice pointed edge. There's no light reflecting from it. So it's kind of it's a helpful tip really. That's on anything, on a knife edge or any sharp edge. If you can see light reflecting, that means there's something for it to reflect from. And if you're shining light onto a point and it's a really sharp point, obviously you shouldn't get any reflection at all. So I can't sharpen this while I've got my while I'm holding all this lot, because it's a bit precarious. But if I can show you, so my file is going to come in here and it's going to clean out that gullet, and then it's going to put that edge back on. So I'm going to have to, I can't do it while I'm filming, I'm afraid, but I'll show you in a moment once I've sharpened that one. So hopefully now you can see there isn't a shiny edge right there. It just looks a dull edge. It looks dull, but it's not. It's actually razor sharp. And you can just see in there the gullet. And now that'll cut really nicely. So hopefully hopefully that is the same one I got, because I got a bit confused. But yeah, if you look carefully there, now you can't see the light reflecting in the same manner. Hang on, see that? No light reflecting there. And if I come up to another one that's kind of a bit blunt, like here, hang on, here you can see just on that edge there, let me shield it a little bit, shiny corner. And that angle looks off too, look now. So that, on that edge I can see it here, I don't know how well you can see it, but it's a shiny edge. But once you've got that shiny edge away, if you've got a nice gullet on there, if you've got a nice gullet, a nice straight edge, and you can't see any light reflecting, then you know you're sharp. Well, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So, let's see how this now cuts. Oh, let's get you back here somewhere. This windfall oak yet to cut, which I'm looking forward to doing that, and then this ash that I have here, this is, in fact there's oak there, that's oak, and oak, that must have been the other piece, the limb that was sticking down, but I think all this other stuff here is ash. So here we have it. Done most of the logging, as you can see. I've got a fair amount on the trailer so far. And one thing I do is, that seems to work well, is I put on all the small pieces, all the small logs on the bottom of the trailer, and then as long as I've got a big enough lip to hold big logs in, like this kind of thing over here, then I put the larger logs on the top, and that just seems to keep everything that bit more stable. So I now just need to, my saw was cutting really nice, and I think I've just put on a clip there of the R16, which is cutting really well. It was cutting slightly at an angle, and I must have nicked a stone or something. on one side because one side of the chain was blunt. So I just give that a tickle up, and it's cutting really nicely now. Hopefully you'll see that bit on here. Tip tap.